Hi friends, so it's editing Fatmata here. I was just putting together this video and guess what? It is about an hour long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split it up. It's going to be a two-parter. In the next part of this, I am going to talk to you a little bit about how I cleaned up my sewing space and the things that I did to kind of get myself back on track. So I'm really excited to share some of those additional things with you in the second part. So actually, while I was making this recent dress, I was looking around me and there was so much chaos in the sewing room. I think I mentioned to you all some time ago that I was in the season of wanting to declutter, wanting to like clear out my space, like my home in general, not just the sewing space. So I'd been doing that in other parts of the house and I was looking around me, and I mean, there were moments where I wanted to record so badly, and just looking around, I couldn't even find a spot with like a clear space that I could sit and talk to you all. And it just got to a level where I was like, nope, don't want to do this right now. So I took everything out of this room, and then I made sure I cleaned and wiped everything down. I reorganized. I changed where the table is. I got rid of some stuff. I got rid of my mannequin, so that's why this bad boy is hanging up here. I broke the actual base of my like dress form, so it had to go. I'd had it for about 10 years. I got that back when I was in college, and it had run its course. I couldn't necessarily give it away the way that I would have wanted it to, because it just wasn't, the form itself was like deformed and not usable. So I am in the market for one of the smaller sizes, and I'm looking for that on like Facebook Marketplace and places like that. And hopefully something turns up. But until then, we're going to hang all the makes up here. Hope that's okay with you guys. So anyways, I was cleaning out a lot of stuff, got rid of a lot of my scraps, was able to clear out like old mail. I mean, like there was just tons of stuff here. I stuffed back all of the loose various pattern pieces. Because I work on multiple items at a time, it is often the case that I have like a collar here, a sleeve there, a waistband over there, you know, all of these random pieces. And the last thing I want is that the next time I go to make that pattern, I'm missing a facing, or I'm missing, you know, a really important piece of my pattern. So I went ahead and stuffed everything back where it belongs. It was a disaster. It was so bad, but it feels so much better in here. I cleaned out my pattern stash. I got rid of patterns that I don't want. I donated them to the thrift store that I usually buy my individual patterns from, my vintage patterns, because I know that they actually are going to put them out and someone will be able to shop them. So I neatly packed them away, and I was like, someone out there wants these, please take care of them. So I gave those away. I have also went through some of my fabric that I had in here and organized some that I plan to list again on my Destashify page, some that I want to give away, and others that I need to either decide if I'm going to complete the project or again do something with it. So a lot happened in this space, so it feels so much better. Things are like neat and organized. Again, reoriented the room, so now I have a bit more space to hopefully show you all things as I make them, especially with the colder months coming, because I can't always run outside and take the full-on photos like I try and do with new makes. So I am excited about that. So in that process of actually getting things out and then bringing them back in the room, figuring out how I actually want it to operate, one of the things that I did is I took the advice of many of you, many of my sewing friends on YouTube, and I actually put my patterns in Trello. Because I had all the patterns out anyways, and I was going through each of them to see what I was going to keep and what I was going to donate, I was like, do not put these things back in the bin until you photograph them. So what I did, I didn't go through and add all the tags and all the information. I created my Trello board, and then I created lists. That's what you call them. I created lists for all of the types. So I made one for wardrobe sets. I made one for tops, pants, skirts, coats, lightweight jackets, men's and kids, and accessories. So in those boards, I just took a picture of the front of the pattern, and then I turned it, and I took a picture of the back of the pattern. So that way I'm not writing how many yards do I need for this pattern, yada, yada, and yada. All I did was take a picture of the front and the back within those categories. That was so helpful for me. Even now, as I've been trying to figure out, what do I want to do next? I just go to my Trello. I don't have to come rummage through the files. I literally just scroll through and see every single pattern that I have. And if I have a question about how many yards would that need? Is that a knit garment? Is that woven? I just go to the picture that I took of the back and I zoom in and I read it and it's all there. Now, one of these days, because Trello is both available on the mobile app and desktop, I am going to go into the desktop version and actually start putting in tags for some of the items, like is it knit, woven, princess seam, I don't know, whatever things I'm going to want to search these by, I'm going to insert that in the tags, but I want to do it on the desktop version because I think that'll be much faster for me than trying to do that on my phone. But the actual taking the picture of the front and back, yes, it took me over an hour, maybe 2, who's counting, but they're in there now and I'm so happy. And now as I bring in new things, it's very easy for me to remember, like, hey, go to the list. Like, is it a pant pattern? Is it a wardrobe set? Is it a lightweight jacket? Go to that. And then I add a new card and then I just take a picture of the front, add an attachment and make that the picture of the back. And then I close it, move on to the next. It's so fast and easy and I love it. And now I have all of my patterns in Trello, which makes me really happy. So that was another bonus of decluttering my space. Because the last time I saw you was my birthday, let's talk about things that I got in for my birthday, like around that time at least, right? So last we left, I told you that I made an order at Wawak and I also made an order at Destashify because I had won a gift card from Whitney from Whit Makes and I finally used it. So let me show you what I got. So here it is. Here is my Wawak order. Really, I was going on Wawak for these swirl maxi lock serger cones. So I remember seeing this and I can't speak words. In anticipation to sew my Zimmerman inspired long length maxi linen dress, I did not want to feel moved to change my serger thread for each individual color, some of which I do not own. And I do not want to feel compelled to buy. So I thought having a multicolored serger cone would be the best thing. And because this, again, has a lot of those primary colors and bright, bold colors that really emulate a lot of the colors that are within my tiered maxi dress, I was like, this is perfect. But I didn't stop there. I got 2 of those cones because I don't like to spend lots of dinero. If I put the swirly serger cones in the looper threads, that's all I really need to get the color going. It makes it look the way I want it to look. And then for the inner cones, I just try and keep it as neutral as possible or a color that would coordinate with as many of the fabrics as possible. But you really don't see those as much. What's really prominent are the serger threads that are in the loopers. So I just bought 2 of the various cones. So again, I got this set. So this is like really primary colors. It's so beautiful. I love that set. But I did not stop there. I also got like a sherbety colored one, really pop-in colors. You're gonna have to kind of try and see it through the plastic, but it's this set right here. So I also got 2 of those, and that's going to be great for any time I'm making like a lighter something that has those lighter, more pastel-y sort of colors. And the final 2 I got is this. Again, it's similar. If you didn't see it up against the primary color one, you'd think it was similar, but this has more, I think, of the secondary colors. So you see the purples, the greens in there, not quite orange, but it has a bit of that yellow. So really beautiful set as well. So with those 3 different sort of shades, I really think that I'll be set for a lot of different types of makes, and I'm really happy that I invest. Unfortunately, JoAnn's, at least my local JoAnn's, and on their website, do not carry the swirl types. So if you're looking for them, there are the Maxi Lock swirls. So I definitely recommend them. It just helps you to not have to change your serger thread all the time. And it really adds a beautiful decorative touch on the inside. So I used that when I was making the pants for my kids. It worked out really well, in my opinion, like on the inside of those. Yeah, and you could see how it just like coordinates for so many different colorways. It's just really fun. It's a fun pop on the inside. So that's what originally took me to Wawak. From there, because once you're there, now you just gotta look around, you know. Then I saw that they had zippers. I had just recently gone to JoAnn's to pick up some 22-inch zippers because really what I make are a lot of dresses, and often I have been lucky that I'm able to thrift a lot of my zippers. Like, I'm always looking in the Sewing Notion section, and if I see a bundle that offers me a variety of zippers, I'm usually gonna take it because even on sale at JoAnn's, it can get quite pricey. So when I saw on Wawak that their zippers were like, I think 88 cents or so. So yeah, I think they were about 88 cents. That's incredible. Anyways, 22-inch zippers. Am I correct? Yeah, 22-inch nylon zippers, invisible zippers. That's really my favorite kind of zipper, is an invisible one. I really don't care for the other types. And I just got a variety of colors. It looks really autumnal. I will say, if I were to order again, I would highly recommend that you sort of go with what the name of the color says and not necessarily what the image shows. Hopefully that makes sense. But there are some of these colors, when they came in, they're very different than the color that I thought I ordered. And I remember reading some of the descriptions of the colors, but when I would select the image, it didn't really correlate to me. So then I ended up going for the ones where the image looked more like the color I wanted, but the name led me to believe it'd be a bit off. It was a bit off. So these were not necessarily the exact colors I was looking for. But I think they will absolutely work because they are invisible. It's not going to be that big of a deal for me. But if you were trying to get like a really specific color match, I think the way that they title the zipper colors is probably more in line with what they might look like. Hopefully that makes sense. Or, you know, just try your luck. Who knows? Maybe you're better. Your image quality is better. I'm not sure what happened there, but really happy to have those at such an amazing price. So that was what I got from Wawak. I was not going to get sucked into the, if you order $100, you get free shipping. I wasn't going to do that. And the shipping did come really fast. I think I got it in a couple of days or so. So maybe like 3 or so days. I was really impressed with that. Okay, now on to my Destashify. I was beyond excited when I heard my name called on the Whitmakes channel when she was announcing the giveaway winner. So I had $50 to spend at Destashify through any of the various vendors, and I'd been looking for a long time. I'd narrowed down my search, especially when I was back to thinking about making the wedding guest dress. There was this beautiful brocade fabric that someone had posted with these teals and like rust and pinky colors, and it's gorgeous. It still is. It was $65, and I thought, I really feel like I should be able to get a decent amount of fabric and keep it at the $50 mark. I didn't necessarily want to spend a lot of additional funds, and they only had 2 yards of that fabric. So I held off on that. Then there was a boiled wool, a black boiled wool with like this beautiful marble color and like white. It's gorgeous. But I know how dense and thick boiled wool is, and there's no space currently in my sewing like fabric collection that I would store that. And I was not about to be making anything out of boiled wool anytime soon. I actually prefer to thrift my coats, so not really something I was too interested in, but I was really excited about that fabric. That was also $65, but quite a bit of yardage. I also let that go. Then on one faithful day, as I was scrolling through Destashify, as you do when you have monies to spend, I came upon this fabric. Oh, this fabric. This was actually posted by Destashify, and they labeled it as such. It is a floral cotton linen lawn. Let me say it again. It is a floral cotton linen lawn. It was so soft and luxurious sounding, and I was like, I gotta have that. A lawn? It's only my UK folks that I always hear talking about like a cotton lawn and a this lawn. I don't really know what a lawn is, but it feels like it's a lot lighter. It has some drape to it, but then it has linen, so it's breathable. Then it has cotton, so the structure is amazing. There were just so many properties, and I said, you can't go wrong with this. Let me show you the fabric. So here it is. It has this beautiful sort of navy, almost plaid background with this floral print on it, with these like mint and baby blue flowers with the yellow centers and these leaves. Like, look at that. Look at it. It is so lightweight. It was 4.25 yards of this gorgeous, luscious fabric. And I think they were selling it for like 35 bucks or something. And I was like, $35? I can spend $35 on 4 yards of fabric. Yes, I can. So I brought that home with me, and I am so happy. I definitely think that this would be a beautiful transitional garment, because the actual print I think would work lovely for fall and the autumnal seasons, because it has that dark base. But because of how light the fabric is, I think you could be so comfortable in this throughout the spring, layer it up for fall and that sort of thing. So I think it's a perfect transitional fabric. And because I have so much of it, you know, I'm thinking tears, you know, I'm thinking maxi. I don't know why this is who I am, but it is. And I'm just I gotta embrace it. I gotta lean into it, you know? But that was my first fabric. Then, still with Destashify, I was just like scrolling through. I saw this posted for $15. 15 plus 35, my friends, is 50. And I said, you know what? You hit the jackpot. This is fantastic. It's a light wash, lightweight denim, 2 yards of this. Now, there were many things that I could have expected from this fabric based on how it was classified online. It exceeded all expectations, all of them. This, I don't think, has been pre-washed. Look at how neat the edges are. What is this? Look at the beauty of the wash of this. What? 2 yards of it. So I felt really lucky to have snapped this up. No stretch. Like pure denim, folks. No stretch. It's gorgeous. It makes me really happy. It's light enough that you can make like a denim shirt with it. You could probably also make like a shirt dress if you wanted to. With 2 yards, I'm gonna have to think about what I want to make, but it's definitely like top or dress weight, not bottom weights or anything like that. But it's just so beautiful. I'm just very happy, very, very happy with my Destashify purchase. So then on top of that, you add your $5 for shipping, and then it was home to me, and I love it. Hopefully you all remember, I also have some fabrics available on Destashify. The way that the platform is set up, as new fabrics come in, I believe when you visit the site, that's sort of what's on top. So mine have been posted for quite some time, so you do have to kind of get to them. But if you actually go in the search bar and put in Tima by FK, you will find my store, if you would call it that, and you'll be able to see some of the selections of fabrics that I have for sale right now. I'm really excited about them. I mean, I've loved them for a long time. They just need to find a new home. So if you're interested, I definitely recommend you head over, take a look. I am hoping to sell as many of them as I can by the end of this month or mid-October. I have set an appointment to go down to Scrap Be More. So there is a scrap creative reuse center in Baltimore. And after I discovered that, I definitely want to continue with my sort of decluttering process. And what I think is going to eventually happen is I'll try to sell as much as I can, but at the end of the month, whatever doesn't sell, I have an appointment on the 30th to hopefully go up there and try and donate some of the pieces that did not sell. I'll hold on to some things that I think are really worthwhile that might, you know, have some sale value. But if you're interested in anything, please, please, please visit the site so that you can snatch them up right now. I just don't want to hold on to things that I could part with and allow them to find another home. So I picked up a couple of things here and there from JoAnn's as well. I'm just gonna run through these really quickly because I know this video is getting long. So in the remnant section of JoAnn's a couple of weeks ago when I was visiting, they had their remnants with 80% off of the price, which is incredible. So I found a couple of fabrics that I wanted to bring home with me because they had a decent amount of yardage. I mean, anything in remnants is going to be 1 yard or less. So most of these, they were 1 yard, which is pretty good. This is a denim that has stretch in one direction. So I was thinking with 1 yard of this, I could probably make my daughter, this is a bit less than 1 yard actually, but I think it's long enough that I can make my daughter like some stretchy pull-on pants. So that was the idea with this dark wash denim for the fall. I actually found this gorgeous, vibrant red color. This is a linen rayon blend, 1 yard of that. So it was nice to have that in my stash. I have picked up some of this linen rayon blend from them in the past, in the remnant section as well. And it's been a really nice addition to the tiered dress that I've been working on. So I knew sort of the weight and feel of the fabric. So I was really excited to find this. I also got this mesh skin tone polka dot fabric. It's like flocked with these darker polka dots here, but it, if you can see, let's get close. So this is me, and this is me with that. It is actually my flesh tone. Now, I remember I'd seen this fabric and I was wondering if I should get it or not, and I didn't because it is sheer. I mean, it's sheer. So for me, in the way that I like to dress, this wouldn't necessarily be modest enough for me to just actually put it on my body. Of course, it'd be layered with other things, but to like do an illusion sleeve and things like that, I don't know if I would feel comfortable in it. But I did want to have it, especially as it was a remnant, just so I could play around with it. I saw it in the last call sale section. It was like 60% off. I don't know if they're discontinuing this item, if they're getting rid of it, but I did see a couple of fabrics that were listed as like last call and they were 60% off. So then with this piece being in the remnant section, it was a super reduced price. And I figured it was worthwhile for me to just have it to test out and see if I could incorporate this if I wanted to in my wardrobe somehow as a layering piece, like an undershirt or something like that. If I could back it with another fabric to make it a bit more comfortable for me. But I like the little beautiful flocked polka dots and I thought it was neat. There was this double brushed poly. The color was just so fun and bright. And again, the price was really nice. It's super soft as double brush poly is. And again, I was thinking of making something for my daughter, which is always my default when I see nice feeling remnant fabric at JoAnn's. But I am proving that I will actually do stuff with it. So hopefully she'll be able to have something, if not this season, then maybe the next. I also picked up some patterns, so I'll pop those up on the screen because they are now nice and beautifully stashed away. But I repurchased some patterns that I had just really messed up and botched the sizes that I cut and should not have cut. Or got a larger size packet, especially for one of the patterns, which is a bottom. I think it's the S1069. And I really needed to have gotten the larger size range, especially for my hip. So I'm really happy to have that and to try that pattern again, because I think I'm gonna really like it if I cut the right size. In a follow-up Butterick sale, I picked up a couple of patterns as well. I got this blazer pattern. This is B6862, and I really love version B. It is dynamite. I love even how they've styled it here with those two different fabrics. I think that's gorgeous. I do have a blazer as one of my make 9, but I could see once I mastered that one, I could see myself making this. I like that in the back it has 2 flaps, and this is my preferred style for blazers because it falls over the bum beautifully, and I won't have just this, when you have just the single sort of kick pleat in the back, for me it sticks out because there's a lot to cover. So I also got this beautiful pattern. This is B6702. I believe Rochelle from Rochelle Handmade Designs has done a pattern review of this, and I remember watching her video and she talked about it, and I was like, I think I need to pick that up. So I went ahead and got it, and these look really nice. I love a good fit and flare, so it's really cool to have a button-up fit and flare dress. So I was excited about that. Here are the line drawings. I don't think I would do the handkerchief hem, but I love view C. Then I picked up Butterick B6851. This, let me show y'all this. It doesn't look like anything special, but let me show you why I got it. It is a no side seam short and pants. Look at that. Look at the cutting. Look at the cutting instructions. That's it. 3 pieces. 3. It's fantastic. Look at that. So they do ask that you put a dart in, like, by the hip. So it's interesting. It's interesting. It's meant to go through like all of the fitting details that you would need to tissue fit this. So I'm intrigued, but the no side seam pant for wovens, that intrigued me. I need to know what's up. As someone who has a really big difference between my waist and my hip, I don't know if this was meant for me. I don't know if I'm the target audience for a no side seam pant pattern for wovens, but I'm willing to give it a try, and I will report back with information as I have it, folks. I will. As I was donating and giving the patterns and other goods away, I just had a little rummage through, you know, at the Prime Thrift store out in Laurel, Maryland, and I picked up 3 vintage patterns. This is a lot less than I would usually do. You know, I can do damage at that store, but I was really intentional. So I have not picked up my indie patterns yet, but I'm working on it. And one of the ones that I was curious about is the Nico top and dress, but I did see this pattern, and it's a McCall's pattern 3187, and I love this view right here. That view does include a back zipper, but I'm curious. I'll see how this goes. It's made for knits, and it's just super cool. It's a single size. It's size 12 with a bust of 34. My bust is usually around a 35. I feel like this is gonna be my size, so that's fine. And then I picked up this. Look at these working women. I love it. And it's like a nice oversized button-up shirt. I love the top pattern that I used when I made my silk tiger shirt. I love that shirt. However, because it's more like a camp style or notched collar style shirt, it does leave a gap at the top, which I'm not a huge fan of. I don't mind it for that top, but for future makes, I wanted something that was just a button front placket, you know, a little bit dropped shoulder, really big. I just love the styling of this and think that this would be a good pattern to have. Seems like an easier, simple sew, and that's Butterick 6422. Size is 12 to 16, so I think that would work. I think pieces of it might have been cut, but I'll go ahead, iron out the pattern pieces and see what I have. Then I have McCall's 6263. Look at how darling these skirts are. They look like perfect fall skirts. And you have the 3 various views. This one with the slit down the front, this one with the pleat in the front and the buttons. So I think there's enough variation here that you could be quite happy. It's said to be quick and easy. We shall see. But those are my recent acquisitions as far as patterns. I do still need to like finalize all of my purchases for my indie patterns and then put them in a cart, send them over to PDF plotting, get those printed. But I want to make sure that I get through my project that I'm working on for next week. I am going to be doing my installment of the So Purple to End ALZ 22 with Michelle from Michelle Sews Again. I'm so excited to be a part of her collabathon. I have been rooting her on. She is 15 days deep in this. I think when you're watching it, it'll be 16 days deep, and I'm just so proud of her and excited to see all of the makes that are coming for the rest of the month. I am going to be collaborating with her on the 21st, so next Wednesday, and really, really excited to do that. We're going to be making a fall layering piece. It's maker's choice, so naturally, I have still not decided what I'm making, but not to fret. I do have the fabric. It's this beautiful purple linen fabric. It's a hefty weight linen. Like, you can make some bottoms out of these linens. They're gorgeous. This was thrifted a couple of years ago, or maybe last year, who knows. And I love it so, but I don't wear a ton of purple. So I was excited to be able to bring this out for this cause. And I cannot wait to share with you all what my fall layering piece of choice is. And you know it's gonna be good. Outside of that, honestly, I'm taking it slow with all of the sewing fails that I've had as of late. I am just hoping that I can make the best fall layering piece to make sure that I'm supporting Michelle and this challenge. And I'll share more about that if you haven't already heard of it in that video. But for right now, that is like the top of my list priority and plan. And I'm just leaving it there, folks. But that is all I have to share with you for right now. I know it's a lot, but that's what happens when you go away for 3 weeks and come back and need to tell your friends why you've been gone, you know? So I hope that wherever you are taking care of yourself. What it felt like for me, have you ever not known how thirsty you were until you took a drink of water? Ever not noticed how tired you were until you woke up from a nap? Well, that's how I felt. That is how I felt. I didn't realize how tense and anxious and and wound up I was. There's so much change happening right now. Work is picking up. One of my kids is starting pre-K, and there's just been so much change and things that I have to keep up with, and making sure I'm keeping up with the demands of work, home, and all of the different spaces. And it was a lot. So when I just like slowed down, gave myself a pause and a break after the wedding guest dress video, it felt so comfortable that I just sank into it. And then the more I sank into it, the better I felt, and the better I felt, the more I wanted to sink into it. So it became like an unexpected break that I didn't even know I needed, but I feel so much more refreshed now, especially now that I have the sewing room all together. And I'm just so grateful to be back, and hopefully you've missed me and you're excited to continue on with the journey with me as well. I have a ton more to share with you, but you know what, y'all? I'm gonna leave it right there, because you deserve some time back on your calendar as well. But I've really enjoyed having you in the sewing space, sharing this time with me. Thanks again to Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for this hashtag, a way to get us all together. And I hope you're happy, healthy, and safe, and going to get some sewing done. Stay creative, friends. Bye-bye.